Right, thank you very much. Now we get on to one or two slightly more mundane matters. The next item on the agenda, item number 10, has been referred to us by the Audit and Risk Committee, and it's the Health, Safety and Wellbeing Report. And the motion in front of us is to receive the report, and I think we do refer this one to local boards as well. So I'm going to ask Daniel Newman as the leading member on the Audit and Risk Committee to move this, and maybe Deputy Mayor Cashmore to second it, and welcome Councillor Newman to introduce it, supported by Paul Robertson, the General Manager of Health, Safety and Wellbeing. Councillor Newman.
Oh, look, thank you, Your Worship, for the opportunity. I'm happy to move this. The report has been referred from the Audit and Risk Committee. The committee met the other day. I commend the report and I appreciate the work that the officers have put into its preparation and the stewardship from Auckland Council in relation to the matters to be covered therein, and I understand the officers are present in the town hall to answer any questions. Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you very much, Councillor. Paul, would you like to add to that?
Thank you, Your Worship. So I will take the paper as read. There are a couple of points I might make for added context. So with the Omicron COVID-19 outbreak receding nationally, we are seeing a corresponding reduction in case numbers within our staff. We are still experiencing a number of service interruptions. However, we're seeing this as much from influenza and the common cold as from COVID-19, and our COVID-19 resilience plans are holding up well. On other matters, we have two items from the Hawara review recommendations that were made. The first is in relation to no excuse for abuse, and this is a second phase of that campaign, focusing on how we reduce the impact of violence and aggression experienced by our staff by looking at how we redesign some of the work tasks which are experiencing those behaviours, and providing further guidance material and training support to those staff. We've also made an external channel for Speak Up available, which closes out the Hawara review recommendation in relation to that. That's now operating and is being used by Kaimai. We've also commenced two projects to improve the management of health, safety and wellbeing across Auckland Council. The first of which is a project to make improvements to the way we engage on health, safety and wellbeing with our contractors. And the second is to ensure that where we have staff who are exposed to critical risks across the workplace, that we understand what those controls are, and we have verification and assurance activities in place to ensure that our controls are effective. So those two programs have commenced since the last report to Council. Apart from that, I will take the rest of the report as read and welcome any questions.
Thank you very much, Paul, and it's good to see that the impact of COVID is starting to recede. We're always reluctant to talk too soon on that, but and also to see that the incident rate is declining for a couple of reasons that you've spelt out in the report. So we'll move first of all to questions, and I have a question in the name of Councillor Richard Hills.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you to the staff. I guess just one question or two questions. The first is the drop-off, which is great to see, of the incidents, especially of violence and aggression. I just, my only concern is that I see there is some mention to the drop-off in use of vaccine passes, so that has helped. But it does seem a drop-off from even pre-COVID time. So are we sure we're getting the reporting numbers through? Like, it's not some sort of, desensitization that people have just stopped reporting some of the things they maybe used to report because there had been this spike, or are we confident of those numbers?
Thank you, Councillor. I guess we can never be fully confident of the numbers. We don't know what we don't know. If it's not reported, we wouldn't know about many of the incidents. But the more serious incidents we capture through other means, so we have other mechanisms for identifying incidents, such as our ACC accreditation scheme. So those incidents that reach a certain level of severity, we're confident that we have those reported. The minor level reporting, we do know that there's always work to do to to improve reporting. I don't believe there's been a drop-off that we can identify, but we continue to monitor that.
Cool. And my second question is just around staff wellbeing, and maybe, you know, if it crosses into HR or more management, then just let it go. But I guess I'm seeing a lot more, and I have discussed this with the CEOs, the requirements we put on Jim, the CEO. But the concerns I have around people working over hours, nights, weekends. You know, we do get emails from staff very late at night. We know that they're overworked. No one complains about it, but we know it's happening. Is your team thinking of doing any work around that kind of staff exhaustion, or the potential, because of working at home, people just continue to work until they've finished tasks until sort of very late at night, and what that could be doing to employee well-being?
Thank you, Councillor. That's a great question. It is something that we're seeing more and more often now that we're moving into a more hybrid way of working, where people are taking advantage of the flexibility that we offer and working different hours. So they may work later in the day rather than earlier in the morning. So that does contribute a little to it. We are looking with my colleagues in the People and Culture team at whether or not there's some ongoing work design, work issues, workload management issues that we can identify and manage out. We're currently reviewing the results of the latest staff engagement survey, which are providing some insights into this, and we'll continue to report on that as we would normally.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, and we'll see in a later item that there's been an improvement in staff engagement, which is really welcome given the circumstances and the difficulties we've been through. I have no other questions, so I'll just see if there are any comments on the paper. Some interesting information in it, generally positive, and but fairly routine as well. So, Deputy Mayor Cashmore, comment.
Just a comment concerning the Audit and Risk Committee's recommendations that there is ongoing training and education around elected members' responsibilities towards safety and risk in our workplaces and in our environments. And I presume through you, Mr Mayor, and to the Chief Executive, that this will be part of the induction program for the newly elected members in the new term, that is given the suitable weight and push that it is to increase people's visibility and understanding of their actual elected responsibilities as an elected member.
Thank you. Yep, I think that's very important. We have no other comments, so I'm going to put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
To the contrary, no. I declare that carried. Item number 11 is also referred from the Audit and Risk Committee in regard